Peace, and welcome to Oddly Familiar. It is October, and Halloween is right around the corner. So in this episode, we will be talking about characters that were inspired by Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger. So with no further delay, let's get this started. Number 10 is from Gex.
It's tail time!
Originally released for the 3DO in 1995, with ports of the game for the PlayStation and Sega Saturn released later. Two sequels followed, titled Gex Enter the Gecko and Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. The character in question comes from the Graveyard stage, an enemy who doesn't just have a hockey mask and chainsaw, but who also wears a green and red striped shirt and has claws or blades coming off of his fingers. He is pretty much a combination of Jason and Freddy. Of course, Jason is known for his hockey mask, and Freddy is known for his green and red shirt and of course the blades on his glove. It's not easy to tell in the game if the blades are on a glove or coming straight from his fingers, but the inspiration is clear, a mix of Jason and Freddy. Number 9, the Ninja Gaiden arcade game. The Ninja Gaiden arcade game was first released in 1988, and by this time there were already 7 Friday the 13th movies. Needless to say, Jason's reach was far and wide by this point, reaching video games, novels, toys, and many different types of media. This Jason-looking character appears in Stage 1 of the Ninja Gaiden arcade game, so you will notice it right away. It could be a coincidence considering that's the only resemblance. His only weapon is what looks like some brass knuckles, but I guess they can't make him too deadly. It's only Stage 1, and a chainsaw or a machete is a bit much for our protagonist to survive if he gets hit with either of them. But at the end of the day, it's hard to not think of Jason when you see this enemy. Number 8 comes from Kid Dracula, which you can find on the NES and the Game Boy. Considered a parody of the Castlevania franchise, the NES version of Kid Dracula was first released in Japan in 1990 and saw its first official English release in 2019 on the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. The Jason character appears as an enemy on Stage 5, the New York stage, bringing to mind Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, where Jason comes to New York to continue his wave of slaughter. In Kid Dracula on the Game Boy, he appears as a boss at the Lake Cabin on Stage 2. It is quite similar to Jason in the Crystal Lake Cabins. Although he is never mentioned by name, he bears an uncanny resemblance to Jason Voorhees. He has a hockey mask along with an axe in both games, although he looks more like Eric Cartman cosplaying as Jason. Lucky number 7 is from Kid Chameleon. First released on the Sega Genesis in 1992, the game was included in the Sega Genesis collection for the PS2 and PSP. It was released for the Virtual Console in 2007, and even more recently, the game appeared in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. This selection is actually a playable character, appearing when you find and pick up the hockey mask. Kid Chameleon will morph into a mini Jason clone, and that's his ability. He finds masks and will change into different characters with different abilities. This Jason clone, of course, has a hockey mask and an axe. His attack is throwing the axe at his enemies, and he goes by the name Maniacs, but not spelled in the traditional way. It's a combo of mania and axe. Number 6 is from Dragon Fable. Officially released in 2006, this RPG was developed and published by Artix Entertainment. They have released more than 14 games, although I am not too familiar with them. In Dragon Fable, once you reach the Valtrith Tomb quest, you will encounter an enemy monster named Ghost of Frederick. He looks relatively close to Freddy Krueger, although not exact. He has a mangled face similar to Freddy, as well as a green and red top. His weapon is 2 handheld double-bladed weapons. They aren't attached to a glove like Freddy, but the inspiration is there. Another thing I think worth mentioning is the hockey mask hanging on the wall. It has the exact same paint job as Jason's hockey mask. You will see the same red markings. So not only does the character look like Freddy, but the hockey mask looks like Jason. A perfect fit for our list today. Number 5 is from Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle. Released in 1989 in Japan and 1990 in North America. This side-scrolling platform game was developed and published by Sega and features a mini Jason clone on Stage 6, the Hee-Ho Forest. The level is long and difficult, and during your adventures on the stage, you will notice this character with his Jason mask, and of course he wields an axe. He goes by the name of Kikari, which is obviously not even close to the name Jason, but his physical attributes are quite similar. He continuously moves forward, breaking down everything in his path and actively pursuing the player. Again, quite similar, Jason is known to walk after his prey, while his prey will run, and as soon as they trip, Jason appears. Unlucky number 4 comes from the RoboCop arcade game. Released in 1988, this arcade game was based on the RoboCop movie from 1987, developed and published by Data East. There are many ports of the game, but we will concentrate on the arcade version. When you reach the narcotics factory, you will see a familiar foe. This enemy runs up with a chainsaw and of course has a hockey mask. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't remember this character in the movie. Just saying. I understand games aren't always loyal to the source material, but including a Jason clone is kind of a funny decision. He isn't wearing the typical Jason outfit, either a blue or purple bodysuit, but this one is an all-brown outfit with a white top underneath. Number 3 is from Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Released in 1993 for both the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, developed and published by LucasArts, who was founded in May 1982 by George Lucas himself. Originally titled Lucasfilm Games, then renamed to LucasArts in 1990. In this game, you play as either Zeke or Julie, and when you reach stage 4, you will notice a chainsaw-wielding man with a hockey mask. His hairstyle, or lack thereof, is also similar to Jason, where he has just a few hairs in random spots on his head, but bald for the most part. The level is titled Chainsaw Hedge Maze Mayhem, and just like it states, you are in a hedge maze with the chainsaw-wielding Jason-inspired character chasing after you. And yeah, he may not look exactly like Jason, but any villainous character with a hockey mask and either an axe or a chainsaw will pretty much always be compared to Jason, whether they like it or not. Number 2 is from the King of Fighters. First appearing in King of Fighters 94, Choi is one of the original members of Team Korea. So besides only being 5 feet tall and Korean, he resembles Freddy. His original costume was changed at the last minute to avoid distinct similarities with the horror film character, but his final appearance still looks pretty close to Freddy with the glove that contains blades. Although Choi has gloves on both hands, while Freddy only has a glove on his right hand. And the green striped shirt. Choi has green and dark green stripes instead of green and red, but his physical resemblance is quite similar. He has that big nose and even the fedora hat that Freddy is known for. Our number 1 spot comes from Splatterhouse, the main character named Rick Taylor. So our number 1 spot comes from not only our favorite game on the list, but also one of the most popular. Splatterhouse, which was first released in 1988, features a main character by the name of Rick Taylor. In the original Splatterhouse, Rick and his lady friend Jennifer take refuge from a storm in a mansion in the woods where the couple is attacked by the living dead, and Rick must go on a killing spree trying to save his girl. In the game Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, which was never released outside of Japan, the game opens with Jennifer mourning over the death of Rick when suddenly, lightning strikes Rick's grave, reviving him. A lot like Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, where Tommy Jarvis digs up the body of Jason and sticks him with the metal rod he removed from a fence. A lightning bolt strikes it and Jason is revived. A huge mistake on the part of Tommy, but that's a different story. Rick Taylor looks similar to Jason, wearing the hockey mask and having the stereotypical outfit, a full blue bodysuit with the sleeves ripped off. A lot like many of our entries today. One of the differences is the fact he is built and quite muscular. I have never seen Jason this built. So I know I said our next episode would be nothing but Tenchu, but we wanted to squeeze in a horror episode before Halloween. But now you can expect our next episode to be those popular percussions that have been found all over the place. We have about 15 or 16 entries, although we have already talked about 6 of them, so we will be talking about the rest of them. Last but not least, shout out to gold level patrons Bersona, Quantum X, Chris Hayes, and Dimitri. I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.